This is what a marquee player is all about.
I'm so lucky to have them.
Wave our flag. That baffles me, and that's why they continue to struggle.
She reminds me of a Lisa De Vanna.
Best mindset in the competition.
Penalty area once again. Dale! The much better side, really, from minute 1 to minute 90. Comes on Cam.
And it's in the back of the net! Perth have broken the deadlock! This is how much it means to the Glory.
Melina Reyes scores for Newcastle.
Ice cold finish there. Massive moment for the Jets.
And then the edge of the box. There is Rachel Lowe. Slotting it in. The kind of performance they needed. 30 games. That is the number since Melbourne City were beaten in the home and away season. Canberra United with high hopes of breaking that streak. Nanako Sasaki towards the back post! And Canberra have the opener! Taylor Young, the cross. Heyman! Canberra United have done it! They are finally breached. They are finally defeated.
This one has fallen the way of Coco de Scipio, bouncing towards goal and in. Here is Izzy Gomez. Inside for the pass. Eunice going for it. Oh, wow! The late scare survived. The Mariners taste 3 points on the road for the first time this Ninja A-League season.
Well, streaks ended, stars returned, and Canberra go top of the table in another action-packed round of the Ninja A-League. Hello and welcome to Dub Zone. I'm Amy Duggan, joined once again by A-League's commentator Teo Pellizzeri and two-time Ninja A-League Championship winner Teresa Polias. Great to have you here for the show. What an awesome weekend. Lots of great goals, T. Let's kick it off with your moment of the week.
Oh, it has to be Canberra's win over City, ending their 30-game undefeated streak. I mean, what more of a statement can you put out than that? Huge win for Canberra.
Mikel's always a tough place to go, T. We're seeing great shots of the home fans. 3 games in 8 days, but the Mikel factor really helped them stay strong and get over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And they dominated the game, I felt. Really took it to City. So
we will talk more about the game in full shortly, but Teo, what was your moment of the week?
It was Newcastle's starting 11. This is a league where teams don't solve their problems. Newcastle, they were winners before the game even kicked off. The fact they even went on to win, and we will get into why, they made some personnel and some tactical shifts that really turned their season around, and I was so impressed by the fact they then went on to have a very good win.
Well, my moment of the week is actually Talia Eunice and that beautiful finish for the Wanderers. I know they didn't get the goods at the end of the game, but it turned a game where, you know, some people might have thought this one's done and dusted. Talia comes on, makes an absolute difference and then scores this beautiful finish and made the last 10 minutes of the game so exciting.
yeah, it was interesting. She came on as a sub and she's been playing really, really well. So that was quite interesting, but fantastic finish. First goal in the league as well. So hopefully more to come from her.
Yeah, well, they are the talk of the town. Canberra United is who we are going to talk about now. 2 games, or you said 3 games in 8 days, Teo, but 2 of them back-to-back wins. Let's start with their big win over the 3. Well, they've beaten all 3, haven't they? They've beaten Victory, Sydney, Melbourne City. A massive statement, and this one midweek against Sydney FC.
It's the first time in a single season, Teresa, that they've defeated all 3 of these clubs, and they've done it in consecutive games. Pretty incredible, and they have not just announced themselves as contenders. Are we looking, dare I suggest, at new favourites? Maybe not to win the premiership because they've already dropped a couple of games and City have so many in hand, but definitely as a grand final contender come the end of the season.
I mean, for sure, if they can maintain this throughout the season and keep everyone healthy, that's the key. They've beaten the big 3. I mean, why not? Of course they can do this. This is a game where, you know, when teams beat City, it's often that, you know, they were defending for the whole game and had that one chance and scored. But this wasn't the case for Canberra. They had high expected goals. You'll love to hear that, Teo. The possession was even. The shot count was even. They had more big chances, 3 corners apiece. They well and truly matched it with City.
They did it on a 3-day break as well. The energy that they had, and you would have expected City, after pegging a goal back, to really come at them at the end of the game. But Canberra weren't holding on for dear life. They were organised, they were committed, and it really is a testament to Anthony Jagrenek, his coaching, that this team continues to go to another level.
Yeah, I think, given they had that midweek game, great point to mention as well against Sydney. I think it's all about mindset. The team's performing best at the moment. I think they've got the best mindset in the competition, and whatever he's doing with his team, it's working, and I just hope that they can maintain that.
And Sienna Dale grabbing her first goal of the season for Canberra United. Michelle Heyman had a few words to say about her post-match.
I'm loving it. She's an incredible player. Like, you should see her in training. She's one of the strongest players, and then she reminds me of a Lisa De Vanna for sure. She's just got the speed and the ability to dribble at players, which, we haven't really seen too much of her yet. But, the near future is going to be incredible for that one. And it's just growing each game and growing every training session and just, getting comfortable within this league. I'm super proud of her, and I know from now on, I'm going to expect 1 or 2 of those every game from her.
Michelle Heyman setting the standard very high. They're quite the comparison when compared to Lisa De Vanna. Michelle Heyman, of course, getting a goal in both games. Great to see her on the score sheet, but Tay, she must feel a sigh of relief to know all the pressure's not just on her.
Yeah, Canberra are sharing the load. Dale scores against Sydney. Emma Hawkins, the American, pops up for her first goal against Melbourne City. But specifically on Dale, this is a player who has great first touch, great speed, and she's willing to try things, T. It's that creativity and the unexpected, the surprise element of her game. Heyman's probably seeing it in training. Anyone who played against her when she was at Manly United in winter would have always been guessing as to what's coming next. And I think that's what makes her such an exciting prospect.
Yeah, and she's confident too. And like you said, she'll try new things. And I saw an interview of her, and she said, there's more to come from me. So it's good to see her with a healthy amount of ego in that position, and to be dangerous and likened to the legend that is, Lisa De Vanna. That's a huge call there. So yeah, hopefully, Canberra can keep everyone healthy and everyone positive and keep it going. Some
positive signs there, but let's turn our attention to the 2 losing sides. We'll start with City, an unbeaten streak of 30 games coming into this loss. Teo, have they come back to the pack, or is it just a one-off?
I'm inclined to say that it's a one-off because Holly McNamara caught Sally James in possession in the first couple of minutes. It nearly ricocheted in for the opening goal. We saw Sally James make a good save there. The issue for me for City is that we're starting now, T, to really see the drop-off from the departure of Lourdes Bosch and Mariana Speckmeier. They had 299 completed passes, of which 207 were in their own defensive half. So Holly McNamara was isolated because Devon Jackson was isolated because Danella Buttress was isolated. So it just feels as though the creativity and also the command of territory and the ability to play in the opposition's half that they do enjoy in a lot of games just didn't exist in the Canberra game at the weekend.
Yeah, in that game, I'm not prepared to say that they've come back into the pack based on one game after a 30-game undefeated streak. So I think, it could be a one-off game. It is really tough to travel to McKellar Park. It's a fortress there, and the Canberra United fans certainly made it that as well. But those are 2 names, Lourdes Bosch, Mariana Speckmeier, that, yes, they will miss, and they need to find a way to bring others to kind of emulate that kind of play and bring in the likes of Holly Mack into the game. But, they are a team prone to sort of play too much possession football without an end product. So that was the case a little bit last season, and they ended up finding ways to score. So, you know what, not panic stations for City. I think they'll be fine. They just got to find those players to do that job.
A lot of emotion on the park for Melbourne City following that one, and I'm sure emotions are running high for Sydney FC. Also on the wrong end of a scoreline to Canberra United. Kept scoreless for a 3rd time in their first loss of the season. What does Sydney need to do to put the ball in the back of the net?
Look, I think they're just lacking a prolific goal scorer, and it baffles me that a team like Sydney FC can't attract a known goal scorer. That's the biggest issue they've had over a couple seasons, I think. And if you look at the teams doing the best in the league. They all have a prolific scorer in form at the moment. So, yeah, that to me baffles me, and that's why they continue to struggle.
I mean, in this game in particular, Riley Tanner missed. Sydney FC said it was due to the accumulated fatigue of international duty. She was also busy getting engaged. I think her partner proposed to her that very day, so congratulations to Riley. But Jodie Ukeckel's not starting, so one of your targeted imports isn't starting. Laurianne Moyes has played 10 minutes the whole season, isn't making the bench. I don't think it's a bad thing that they're going to the kids, but the kids will take time.
They will,
and if they can persist with that and build them into the season, why not? Especially if they've decided that maybe the foreign players aren't nailed on starters in this team.
Yeah, I think Ante needs to make a decision here, because if you keep going back and forth, no one's going to build any momentum, whether it's your foreigners or your kids. So, like you said, Teo, whatever way you go, great, but I think he just has to put the time in and the patience to choose one way to go, because they need consistency, and they need, particularly young players, need that time to grow confidence, experience as well.
We'll have a few sessions between now and the weekend's game against Wellington. Let's go there next, because Wellington travelled across the country for the distance derby against Perth at the Sam Kerr Football Centre. And while you were right, Teo, the Nepalese community absolutely turned out. It was Susan Fonsongkham that scored this brilliant, I'm going to call it an Olimpico. I don't know if it took a touch or not, but it looks like an Olimpico to me, and I think either way she deserves it anyway.
I mean, Wellington had more possession. They slightly shaded chances. They did have a slightly higher XG, but Perth had the one moment of brilliance. I wouldn't say either team was clinical in this game, T, but you've got someone like Susan Fonsongkham who can swing in a corner like that, and it meant the world to Perth. Even through the 4-game losing streak, this team spends so much time away from football, hanging out with each other. They seem to have a great vibe. They do not have any of the traits or characteristics of a losing team. They honestly seem to really enjoy each other's company. It isn't a shock to me that the results are starting to come on the field.
Yeah, and we spoke a fortnight ago about the next run of 5 games for Perth and how most of them are at home. So this is a good start for them. We didn't want to judge them based on their previous run of 5 games where most of them were away, and they did mention that the struggle with the travel. So, yeah, look, they found a way, and that's the main thing. And hopefully for them, this is a start now in the next few games to go on a bit of a run. This is what they desperately needed.
One of the reasons they were able to win this game 1-0 was their new goalkeeper, Teresa Morrissey. Now, she was signed as their number 1 in pre-season but suffered a back injury. It's taken her until her mid-20s to finally get this A-League women's debut, but she's been a very highly rated goalkeeper. She's been a NPL champion in both New South Wales and in Victoria. And in a game of fine margins, you can see how they were getting around her there, celebrating keeping that clean sheet. Her dad was the freak, James Morrissey, 2-time AFL Premiership player. Just thought I'd mention that. But Teresa Morrissey is forging her own path. She's had her challenges with her body and also just being able to convince a club to give her a go. And I think it's a credit to Stephen Peters that he's decided to bring her across the country, install her as the number 1. 1 game, 1 clean sheet, and she was the Opta player of the match according to the stats.
Yeah, I think Stephen Peters is really good when it comes to recruitment and finding the type of player he really needs. And Teresa Morrissey's exactly that. She's got squad experience in other teams, so she's got that under her belt. And yeah, she got the start, the clean sheet, confidence boost. So, and great to see her teammates rallying around her.
She's a real modern goalkeeper with her feet, but I would say more of a 90s style goalkeeper.
It's a good mix.
People always say in the 90s, goalkeepers are crazy. I just wonder if Teresa Morrissey is the right kind of crazy.
Well, hopefully there's more to see of that.
Well, if she can keep continuing some of the work that she put in on the weekend and some of the saves from Wellington, because they were on the wrong end of the score sheet, but they certainly had enough chances. Is this what we've come to see from Wellington, not being able to put away their shots?
They created so much in this match, dominated it, and yeah, I think it's the story of their season so far, because they've got such quality out there and just they're not finding the back of the net.
All their games this season, they've either scored 1 or 0. It means they're on a streak of 16 games now, last season into this, where they have scored 1 or 0 in all the games bar 1, and that 1 game was the come-from-behind 2-1 win against Western Sydney Wanderers at Pororua Park. So in this match, again, a familiar problem for the Wellington Phoenix, one that we and the Kiwi media over there have foreseen coming into each of the last 2 seasons. It didn't work out for Olivia Ferguson leading the line last season. This season it's Samba. Samba's growing into the games. Like, she had 4 shots, 1 on target. We saw how close she was to scoring here, Teresa. I mean, do you feel that's first Samba goal? It's going to hit hard when it finally arrives.
And when it hits, it's going to be big. And look, it's a tough one when it comes to not finishing, because it's not a tactical thing. You can go back on the training pitch and tweak and fix just like that. It's one of those things you just got to keep creating, keep going, stick to the principles, and then hopefully the penny drops and the floodgates open. So hopefully that
the first one and the floodgates will open.
So hopefully that happens soon enough, and hopefully Samba's involved in that.
Well, it wasn't the result that the Knicks saw after, but the Nepalese community certainly came out in a force over in Perth, and this is what Samba had to say to them after the match.
Samba, a tough loss on the road here, 2 tough losses in the road. While it is really difficult, to have this level of support behind you must really make it that little bit easier.
To be honest, in A-League, I choose because of them, and then wherever I go, in Melbourne, in Sydney, and now I'm in Perth. I'm so lucky to have them, and also it feels so great, and I really appreciate to them.
It does give you a bit of a sensation that wherever you're playing, it's going to be a home game because of the sheer amount of support behind you.
Obviously, it helps to not only me, entire team. It helps, and then also we can move forward what we want, and then the support's always great for us.
Well, what an amazing crowd right behind Samba, and imagine the noise when she finally hits the back of the net. Time now to welcome A-League's reporter Narlene Masto. Great to have you with us. You are across all things social and will have absolutely seen the impact of Samba.
I don't think there's been another A-League women's player who's been able to captivate an entire nation like Samba has. The Nepalese fans are behind her, and we did catch up with her earlier in the season to hear more about how much that support means to her.
My name is Sabitra Bhandari Samba. I'm from Nepal. My position is number 9, striker.
Samba and behind. There's the blistering pace. Oh, she's through and on goal. This could be a dream start.
In India, it's better than Nepal's league. And after that, I went to Israel. Then better than India. And after that, I went in France. That one is the best quality league I never seen before, and then I'm here right now. So we have to make it happen in this country and then in this league as well. So we'll do together as a team,
Sabitra Bhandari, she is a Nepalese national hero.
Really, thank you to be here, and thank you so much. This is the first time I never seen these types of welcoming and these types of love and support. So in Auckland, there was around 50 people. They welcome me, and then after that in Wellington as well. It was really a great moment for me. I always carry my flag, and also I love to make happy to Nepalese football fans. Playing for my country is always proud and to motivate the new upcoming generation. I did so many hard work in the pitch, outside the pitch, and to make me happy and to grow myself and then to prove myself.
Whether it's Melbourne, Perth, Wellington, the Nepalese fans follow Samba, and wanted to hear from you guys, how good is it to have this whole new audience following the Ninja A-League? As we have it there, wave that flag, mate.
It's amazing, what Samba has done for this league, and the Nepalese diaspora in Australia is huge. It's a real tragedy they they only just missed out on the Women's Asian Cup in a penalty shootout to Uzbekistan. So Uzbekistan, you've got a lot to live up to. But this is what a marquee player is all about. We've almost forgotten, like, the Del Piero effect, or, you know, before all of the Matildas left pre-COVID and sort of we had them in our own backyard, but, you know, weren't able to generate the hype and the passion that we're seeing now. And this is the blueprint for every other club to get out there, look for players who are good enough on the pitch, but also can bring in the fans in the stands.
Yeah, it's a great example being set, and you just see the Nepalese community smiling and having a blast, and it makes you feel happy inside. So that's the beauty of football, and it's just wonderful to see.
It's amazing to watch the game bring people from all over the world to A-League and to the Ninja A-League, the women's game especially. And I'd love to see this kind of thing in every A-League side across the league. I'd love to see a marquee player, whether it's an international Teo or even one of our homegrown stars, with a following like this week in, week out.
And the diaspora love football. I mean, I'm from Melbourne. In Melbourne, there's a club called Reservoir Yeti, who are down in the lower state leagues. But it is a way that their community, like many of the older traditional clubs that we know built football in this country, well, these are the 21st century examples doing it now from the newer communities.
Absolutely, we love to see it, and keep those Samba comments coming because we read all of it and absolutely love it as well. As the flag is brought up, what's more? You just got to keep doing that for the whole show now. Now on to another superstar, an Aussie one this time, Chloe Berryhill, back in the Ninja A-League from Italy, and there was a bit of rumours about this potentially being the last dance from her, so she did address those rumours post-game.
That is correct. Last season for me, look, I'm enjoying myself and I want to leave the game as I still love it. I've given my career a massive crack and I've enjoyed myself, and it's moving on to the next phase of my life to be with my wife and have some babies, and look, I've enjoyed myself and it's time.
Oh, sad to see it potentially at the end of this season.
Come on, Chloe. There are years left in you yet, especially like if you want to be at home with your family, that's fine. But, you know, play on, Chloe, play on.
Surely, right? But, you know, if this is the final season for her, Teresa, you've had a lot of memorable moments. Which one stands out for you?
Yeah, look, I was lucky enough to play with Chloe and have the utmost respect for her as a person and a player. But, yeah, plenty of good memories. She was there for my first goal in the league after a ton of games. Finally scored and celebrated as if it was her goal. It was amazing having her alongside that, and she's obviously a great teammate, always set high standards and very competitive at training and in games, which lifted everyone. Obviously, we shared a championship together, plenty of defeats together as well, and heartbreak. But I've got to say, you know, the biggest memory would be her wonder strike in the 2019 grand final where we beat Perth. So, yeah, plenty of great memories. And I'll be sad to see Chloe go. I think she's got plenty of years left in her.
You're a long time retired,
It's
T.
weird seeing her in the red and black. You know, one game for them and she's thinking about retiring. Nah, just joking. But look, yeah, I think she's got plenty of left in the tank.
We forget what a great Matilda Chloe Lagazzo at the time was. And for me, that favourite memory, it's what could have been 2016 Olympics. She hits the crossbar against Brazil. We end up going out on penalties. And I think a lot of people have sold short just how close this Matildas team was to the big breakthrough moment at the 2016 Olympics. It kind of, we flared up, had a great tournament, lost on penalties to the host Brazil, and then it went away. But Chloe Berryhill, now Lagazzo then, was a key part of getting us agonisingly close to that first Olympic medal for the Matildas.
And what she has in her locker that I hope we get to see for the Wanderers for the remainder of the season. There was a goal against Brazil at the 2019 World Cup. There's the header against China, which I absolutely remember. And there's a couple of crackers against Melbourne City as well, especially from the 23-24 season. A couple of bangers from outside the box. So watch out when Chloe lines up against City. I reckon there might be another one coming.
Absolutely. And she's here for more game time, which hopefully she gets. And who knows, Women's Asian Cup, she mentioned in the interview as well. But another Matildas fan favourite, Alex Chidiac, is a player who's been craving more game time. And finally, we've seen it at FC Como, a different club to the one Chloe Berryhill was playing at. But what a first goal this is for Alex Chidiac in Serie A. I mean, the way she struck the ball from that angle is just incredible to see. But got to mention with this one, Teresa, it's good to see her finally playing over in Italy, but do you think she perhaps left the Ninja A-League at the wrong time, Alex Chidiac, off the back of just winning the Julie Dolan medal as well?
Look, it's a tough question. It's always hard to go to Europe and crack that kind of market and, you know, walk into a team when they've got so many players over there that would be looking at you going, who are you, sort of thing. So she's kind of had to start again in a sense there and earn respect. And, you know, that wonder goal there hopefully is a start for her getting more minutes. But I don't think it's ever a bad thing for a player to go and try a new challenge. She definitely has the quality for it.
The game time is welcome because the Tamiki Yallop injury putting that Asian Cup spot in jeopardy. I think every midfielder in the A-League and overseas is on notice. I'm going to mention another former Victory player, Alana Murphy. Like out of sight, out of mind at Sand in the German second division. We talk about players that like the amplifier of the A-League women. You know, this competition does so much to keep you in the spotlight. Every game is watchable. Every game has replays, highlights, social media amplification. I mean, has anyone seen an Alana Murphy highlight this season at Sand? Exactly. So, I mean, I do feel as though this competition is giving a great platform for players to make their case for the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully Chidiac does get that game time she needs ahead of Matilda's competition coming up. Now, finally, feel-good story for the week. 17-year-old Talia Yunus. Oh boy, did she score her first Ninja A-League goal in style. This is a goal of the season contender. It was incredible and it was scored against the Mariners. But the best part of it all was her reaction watching it back immediately after. So let's have a look.
Ying. Sard for the pass. Yunus going for it. Oh, wow!
Oh my gosh.
It's a piece of brilliant.
I didn't know, like, I was like, oh my God, I can't even like remember my feelings, to be honest.
Yunus going for it.
The ball came to me and I just like, first time just hit it. And then it went in and I couldn't believe it. I'm very happy. It's unfortunate we lost, but I just can't believe it, honestly. I've been dreaming of this day and it's a dream come true, so.
That is so wholesome. Despite the loss, you knew the smile was there and absolutely chuffed with that.
And my moment of the week for a reason, an absolute cracking goal. But, you know, she missed the shot against Sydney the week before, and a lot of young players would maybe have a hitting confidence after that. Found herself on the bench, because Chloe Lagazo, Chloe Berryhill had come back into the Wanderers side, but came off the bench with so much enthusiasm and so much spirit and just created.
Character, doesn't it? That, you know, she was playing well, got benched, came on and made a statement there.
And when she's watching it back hundreds of times, great commentary helps. Well done, Lockie Flanagan, on an awesome call of the goal.
From one commentator to another. Thanks so much, Narlene, for a look across socials and everything fun that's happening in the league this week.
Thanks, Amy.
All right, back to the games that were. And a new nickname was born out of the game between Newcastle and the Brisbane Roar.
Stevenson, Dundas. She's been one of the Jets' best. And there's two Brisbane players down thanks to the endeavour of Dundas. She's leaving them all sprawled on the turf.
Incredible work rate from Dundas.
She's like a flying chainsaw there, cutting players down everywhere.
She's up, she's down.
Did you catch it? The flying chainsaw, Emma Dundas. Yes, that is the nickname she has earned after the weekend. T, would you have liked a nickname like that?
I would have, definitely. I think the opposition would have feared me a little more, but she was everywhere in that match. Emma Dundas, take a bow.
What did you make of it, Tay, as a commentator, counting the number of players that are on the floor like fallen trees?
Well, I think it's a credit to how she's played this season that she's so prominent in games. And yes, there is a bit of a fear factor when you go up against her in that Newcastle midfield now because she's in the young Matildas, I think on a really promising trajectory. As far as winning the ball back, absolutely. Passing is probably the next evolution to become a really influential passer. But as far as being able to take the ball off opponents, A+. Doing really well.
Every team needs an enforcer. Every single team needs an enforcer. And it was quite a bounce back from Newcastle, wasn't it, with a 3-0 win there. Over Brisbane, we had Ayres, Brown and Breyer all on the score sheet in that comprehensive win.
Yeah, they really worked themselves into this game. Brisbane were creating a lot of chances in that first half, weren't converting, and Newcastle stuck strong. and they ended up dominating this match. Their mindset is worth noting here. The way Stephen Hoyle is managing his team, bouncing back from a thrashing in the F3 Derby the week before. In seasons past, Teo, this would have been like, oh, here we go again. The heads would have been down, but it wasn't the case in this match. Massive, massive win in this match after bouncing back. I can't speak highly enough of the Jets, the way they went about this match.
But the reason they bounced back, T, is because they made changes. And you say in previous seasons heads might have been down. Well, they didn't sit on that F3 Derby defeat. So Josie Wilson went out of the team, Olivia Page came in for a first start, and Emma Bates came in for a starting debut. And there was an immediate transformation to how they defended. They were organised, they were committed. All of them shared the load. There was no one statistical standout in terms of headers won, in terms of blocks. They have entrusted Claudia Chico at centre-back next to Tash Pryor this season so that Cass Davis can spend more time as a defensive midfielder. But what did you make of the additions of Bates and Page to turn, again, what was a leaky defence against the Mariners into a clean sheet performance against, as you say, a Brisbane team that actually did make them work for a lot of the game?
They certainly did, and those players fit in seamlessly. And you mentioned they were well organised. That block, they had the five at the back there getting forward. They sent the right and back winger forward as well and managed to, in transitions, recover. So I think they fit in seamlessly. They were well organised. And off the back of that, I thought, you mentioned Emma Dundas's distribution. I thought it was good going forward. She had Melina Ayres and Kelly Brown to hit on the transition, which, gave Brisbane a big headache as well, and that worked really well for them. It was quite end-to-end. So, I think they managed the game tactically very, very well.
And some finish from Kelly Brown on the penalty too. Let's not let that one fall by the wayside. Now for Brisbane, well, Newcastle might have bounced back, but Brisbane hit the floor and didn't bounce anywhere. They were flat. And obviously they had a big win over Adelaide last week, but they suffered that lengthy injury to Tamika Yallop. Were they missing her out there?
Certainly. I mean, she's a leader. She's one of the best players in the league, so that certainly would have been on their mind. But in saying that, they had in the 60s, 63, somewhere around that, final third entries. That's huge in the game, and could not find a way to put it in the back of the net. So there's something about the Brisbane mindset that they need to work on, I think.
21 shots.
Not
21 shots.
1.8 XG, 57% possession. So, I mean, on another day, Brisbane are dominating this game. Is it, T, a case of they have been a moments team so far this season? Maybe not particularly impressive when they've won, but they've taken the chances. I feel as though that, this loss, as bad as the scoreline was, the actual performance was arguably better.
Bad,
arguably better than some of their wins.
I totally agree, and I don't think it's a moments thing, because they're consistently, I should say, creating chances. They're just not putting them away, but the frustration's visible. And I think that energy and the frustration just makes it, hard for them to actually score in that moment and be clinical, and that's something they definitely need to look at. And then half-time, I don't know, it was a bit off to me. Bente Janssen was subbed. We didn't know about, we didn't hear about any injuries. I'm not sure if you heard, but I don't want to speculate, but I do think that took a hit.
Precautionary regarding a hamstring.
Oh, yeah, look, I don't know. To me, it's a bit off there, and I think that gave them a mentality hit as well, having her subbed at half-time.
Well, Brisbane will definitely have to look to bounce back next week. And Newcastle, will they continue to steamroll teams the way they have this season? Their best start to a season ever. Well, let's round out the show with some quick hits. Of course, the Mariners picking up their first away win against the Western Sydney Wanderers, but they've now got this massive challenge ahead of them in Canberra. And there's a bit of feeling to this one after last season.
Yep, because it was the Mariners who knocked Canberra out at the elimination final, coming from behind, no less, at Gosford in that game. Michelle Heyman had given Canberra the lead going into half-time, and it was Jade Pennock who scored the 2 goals, and recreating that productivity of Jade Pennock, Brooke Nunn, and now Tiana Fuller, who we see here laying off this cross. Not in the matchday squad again, second week in a row for the Mariners. So there's a lot of goals that they need to find that haven't returned from last year's championship team.
Yeah, but I think that the game against the Wanderers, they were in full control, I think, and they scored a couple of goals, really good goals at that. The Izzy Gomez goal was fantastic. So I think this sets up a really enticing fixture against Canberra. So it is a home game for the Mariners, which works in their favour. But yeah, it'll be a really, really good battle.
Well, let's chat victory because they got the points over the Reds, who've been a little lacklustre, and it was all thanks to a fantastic performance from that one on the screen, Holly Furphy.
She's in the top 5 for players dribbled past this season. She's number 2 in the league for taking players on. We're seeing some of the chances here that could easily have been assists, and then inevitably Holly Furphy does get the assist. Her wing play from both sides of the tee pitch was something to be admired. I know she hasn't scored a goal this season. Rachel Lowe gets her first goal of the season there, but her form in spite of that has still been really strong.
Yeah, and I think her work off the ball is key for the victory. She just seems to open things up. She gives that option forward, and as a competitor, she absolutely fears nobody. So she's a defender's nightmare in that way, and I think that really works for the victory. And having her, doing that in every game is really important for the victory.
Well, Adelaide, for them, things have gone from bad to worse, although they should be a little fresher next week now. An influenza outbreak in a camp has meant they've postponed this Wednesday's match against Melbourne City, but they will line up, hopefully wishing them a speedy recovery, by the way, against Perth on Sunday evening. They're in desperate need of goals. What has happened to this front three that were formidable last season?
No Fiona Wirtz at the weekend. Another game where Erin Healy's impact was perhaps curtailed due to the planning of opposition, but I want to hone in on Chelsea Dorber. She's played the minutes equivalent of 2.5 games thereabouts, T. She's taken 2 shots, both off target, 0.05 XG for the entire season. This is the club's all-time top scorer and someone who is a reliable source of goals every time she's played in this competition, but just has found no form to start this campaign.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head a little bit about Adelaide. I'm not sure what's going on there, but for them to be competitive and get to where they did last season, they need every single player firing, especially a player like Chelsea Dorber. So, yeah, look, wishing them a speedy recovery, but, yeah, they need to start getting some points on the board.
I hate to say it. I mean, they said influenza affected their preparation for the Melbourne victory game, but I thought they picked a better 11. They brought Emily Hodgson back in at left back. They took Izzy Hodgson out of the back line into the forward line and put Zoe Tolland in, who had been seemingly, jettisoned after playing almost every minute of every game last season. So if a flu outbreak causes you to pick a better 11, what does that say about plan A? I'm at a loss as to the direction they're taking their team.
Maybe they're buying a bit of time here in terms of getting on the training pitch, tweaking things to how they want to tweak them.
The biggest problem is hitting the back of the net.
That's right.
Erin Healy not, doing it all on her own at the moment and not having much success. Let's hope they can click this weekend. Time for our team of the week. Teresa, you've picked this one, and I've got a question. Have you run out of jerseys?
Well, can you spot the theme here? The two, I think, best teams in the competition at the moment. I've given them some recognition here. This is my team of the week, so feel free to submit your own.
Just Newcastle and just
Canberra
players.
Yeah, they've been fantastic to watch.
You've
and
abandoned
I thought
Sydney FC.
I haven't abandoned
Sydney FC legend abandons club.
Giving a bit of recognition to two deserving teams, and this is my team of the week.
Is this Melbourne victory? Chopped liver, kept a clean sheet and won a game and no interest?
There'll be another week for them to earn their spots in this team, but this week it's all about Canberra and Newcastle.
Teo, tell me who's missing off this list.
No, I actually think it's a pretty good reflection of who played well over the weekend, other than to not have Holly Furphy is a little bit stiff. She was outstanding in the victory win.
She was absolutely outstanding, but I just thought I really enjoyed watching the Jets play and Canberra play, and I think in terms of mindset, no one competes with these two teams at the moment.
Perth win a game, and you've decided... No,
hang on, Perth have a bit of work to do before they can get a few players in here.
Well, it's obviously working for Canberra and Newcastle because they both find themselves in the top 3 on our Ninja A-League ladder. It is Canberra United sitting pretty at the moment on 13 points after 7 games played. Melbourne Victory in second, Newcastle Jets in third. The Mariners, Sydney FC, Brisbane Roar, and look where Melbourne City is, 7th, but it is a bit deceiving. 4 games played with those few in the hand.
It's a killer that they get that Adelaide game postponed because they're going to be chasing their tail all through the back half of the season.
And of course, as we move toward round 8, another big weekend of the Ninja A-League coming out. It all kicks off on Friday night with the Newcastle Jets at home to Melbourne Victory. That one will be coming your way Friday, December 19 from 7 p.m. The Phoenix against Sydney FC over in Wellington. Can Sydney make the trip across the ditch and get the job done? I didn't pick them this weekend, sadly. Canberra United, Central Coast, has got to be the match of the round, doesn't it, guys? And Perth Glory, will they go back-to-back at home over Adelaide?
I really like that Perth-Adelaide game to round out the weekend because Adelaide need the break. If they were backing up to face Melbourne City, red alert to absolutely, face the backlash. How is City going to respond to their first home and away loss in 30 games? But now they get a few extra days to prepare, so in a slightly better position to go west and face the Glory.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Teo. That ladder is taking shape now. But yeah, I agree with you, Amy. I think that Canberra Mariners game is the game of the round. I really can't wait to see those two come head-to-head.
Well, that one's Saturday night at 5:30, and if you can't get to a game, get tuned in to Paramount Plus. I've got full matches, highlights, mini matches, everything you could need, and of course you can catch the matches as well on 10 app for free. Teo Pellizzeri, Teresa, Polias. It's been a pleasure once again, even as we say goodbye to the newest Nepalese fan. That is Dub Zone for this week. Thanks for your company. We'll see you on a field or back here next week.